Hello everyone, greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Foundation. And today we are looking at the chapter 6, the third topic of chapter 6, which is the last topic in the curriculum in fact, and this is what we will be winding up with. Following that, we'll be having another tutorial on the sample questions of this chapter, but this is the last discussion on the entire syllabus of Foundation. So quick guess into the 6.3 introduction a tool, introducing a tool into an organization, that how exactly what are the steps involved and generally what does exactly happen. So first of all, it is a responsibility of the test manager to take care of selecting the necessary tool at different point of time or for different set of activities throughout the process, and this is one of the planning activity for the test manager to select the necessary tools to assist to various activities like the test management, test execution, or maybe it is static analysis, dynamic analysis, or whatever it is. So based on that, the criteria and the scenarios what we'll be looking at, we have to judge about the automation and also select the tool right in the test planning phase. But generally it involves a lot other activities. It's not so simple how you see it, where just selecting a tool would be one of the easiest job. No, not at all. We do have a lot of other activities associated with it, so let's look into that in more detail. So the very first thing what we are trying to understand at this point of time is selecting a tool for the organization, and we have several parameters to be considered by a test manager to select a tool for an organization, where the very first thing is like assessing the maturity of the organization. Generally, it does happen that at what point of time you are able to automate some of the activities, like are you having the skill staff who can automate things, or are you into the mode of regression where you can say like maintenance of any application? Are you strong enough to take up the automation skills and challenges? Does your organization really invite a test management tool, or you are a very small team and really don't need any kind of expensive tools to be added? It's just not merely limited to the budget. It is also important that how important is the use of tool, because managing a tool itself invites a lot of extra job. So it's not that easy that you take a tool and then everything else gets minimized. No, there are a lot of things which the tool generates. Managing the tool, maintaining the tool becomes very important and involves a lot of other tasks. Understanding of technologies used by the test objects in order to select a tool that is compatible with that technology. So we do have a number of tools what we have seen in the previous tutorials, but obviously what tool serves you the best? Is there like different tools have different abilities, and that point of time you need to look at the compatibility of that tool with the right set of requirements what you have to do. For example, certain applications do not support different platforms. So is that what you're looking at with your specific set of requirements, what you want to do? So having a clear set of criteria is another one of the thing which is very important at this point of time, that you set up certain set of requirements, that why do you want the tool, and based on these requirements you will be evaluating the tools available in the market which will best suit your requirements of adopting or procuring a tool. Consideration of whether or not the tool is available for free trial period, that is for evaluation point of view. That is, if the tool can be available for a trial period, then we can work on it to conduct some kind of proof of concept to basically evaluate the tool if it fits the requirement or not. And generally after that you can go ahead with purchasing of the license, because for POC you would definitely not look forward to invest a budget on that. Evaluation of the vendor is equally important, like how you evaluate a tool, because tomorrow if you take up from a startup organization and there is no backbone of the vendor, then of course maybe in somewhere in the mid of the project you might face challenges, or maybe the suspension of the tool at any point of time where you cannot get licenses and you can really have no option to continue further, and you just can't discontinue with the tool at any point of time. Identification of internal requirements for coaching and mentoring in the use of the tool. Of course, it's not mandatory that all your staff will be highly skilled with unrecognized tools or very new tools. So it is always important for evaluation of such coaching or training within the organization, or even even after giving a training to the team members, mentoring is equally important, so that you still see that the people are doing the right steps at that point of time. Consideration of pros and cons of various licensing models, because we do have like open source or licensed softwares Then what kind of copyrights do we have? What kind of limitations do we have? Can we create our own classes? Can we create our own generic functions or not? So further beyond that, looking at the license standards, that what license do we have, whether it is a concurrent license or seat license, and more about that. So you might be looking at those things as well, and you would consider them. And at the end, obviously, you will also measure a cost benefit ratio, that what is that you're doing now and what is the amount you're investing for that. Now, if you procure a tool, maybe a commercial tool or open source tool, then what is that you will be investing towards that tool? uh, I really don't mean at this point of time that only commercial tool involves such kind of investments, but even open source involve a lot of investments, like procuring the same platform, what it supports, or upgrading the team members, doing the training for the staff and all would require some cost there. So you calculate that cost, and based on those costs you measure that what will be the benefit achieved. For example, if you are doing a particular task for $100,000 and then you procure a tool of $50,000, and then you say that, okay, fine, the rest of the task will be like another $30,000, then obviously you are within the range. So cost benefit ratio is positive, that what you're investing now and then whatever the rest of the work what you will be doing will invite another, like altogether put out like $80,000. So still you're saving $20,000 out of your $100,000. So what we mean to say is, if your cost benefit ratio goes positive, you adopt the tool. If in case it is negative, that you are still investing something more than what you're doing manually, then you don't procure the tool. So these are some of the considerations which you take into account when we are trying to select a tool for the organization. Once you have selected the tool, like conducting a POC and all, and you go smoothly with that, and everything goes very well as per the requirement fulfillment of the tool procurement or adoption, then you go ahead with a pilot project. The pilot project basically is conducted with one particular project within your organization. Say at any point of time, if you're a service-based organization, you may have several projects ongoing, or maybe upcoming projects are one after the other. So you always conduct a pilot project which will be evaluating of the tool on the real-time standards, because POC, that is proof of concept, is limited to certainty, where you really can't go ahead with the real-time implementation on that by automating certain scripts, executing the regression suite or some, or maybe practicing those automation frameworks. So in pilot project, you will be just kicking off with one of the project to see in the reality that how does it go. And we do have many other objectives of pilot project which you can see on the screen right now, that gaining in-depth knowledge about the tool, because POC will be an overview. So here you will get into the details, like implementing practically at the ground level within the project, and seeing that how exactly these things are fitting into the process or not. Evaluating how the tool fits the existing process and practices, because obviously we need to understand that what our process maturity is and how does it fit into that, because a tool will not change for your process, rather your process must be updated to best fit the use of the tool. Deciding on the standard ways of using it, managing it, storing the data, maintaining the tool. As we were just talking about such things to be managed when we make use of any specific tool, we have a lot of other tasks to be taken care. So we need to decide on certain standards that, okay, at this point of time, we will make sure that we have, after each execution, we are storing or archiving all the assets of the execution, like the template, the temporary files, or the log files which are being generated by the system or the tool. We will be archiving them for any future reference or so on. So you create certain standards in pilot project to see that how we can manage the entire tool assets and other things. Assess whether the benefits will be achieved at the reasonable cost, of course, because from the real-time use, you will also get to know if your cost-benefit ratio is really working out, or at certain point of time, you are still investing beyond what you were doing earlier with certain amount. So that is another objective of the pilot project. So we have 4 major objectives. Beyond that, the understanding of pilot project would be really important. So if you can remember these things, so we can be expecting a question from pilot project objective as well. So let's look at the next one. Here we have got success factors for the tools. Now, when we talk about the success factors for the tools, we have like an amalgam. Like once you are through with your pilot project and everything goes well, then it is very important to take care of the tool thereafter as well. It's just not that if your pilot project really goes well, then you can just roll out to the entire organization at a time. So we have some good conducts and success factors involved for having a good outcome of that. For example, rolling out the tool to the rest of the organization incrementally, adapting and improving process to fit the use of the tool, providing training, coaching, and mentoring for tool users, defining guidelines for the use of tool, implementing a way to gather usage information from the actual use of the tool, monitoring tool use and benefits. See, if you look at these points, we have already been talking about these things, and you just try to create certain standards so that the rest, future use of the tool would be more beneficial to the organization. Similarly, like providing support to the users of a given tool, so you can support them in terms of making it more efficient and optimized way of using it. And obviously, you gather lessons from different users or different projects to decide whether the tool is still giving you the benefits or it is time to move to a new tool or change the tool or something. So at this point of time, we finally have concluded with all the topics of Chapter 6. This was the last topic on that, and we have covered the entire content of the ISTQB syllabus as well. So finally, we are done with all the syllabus learning. So we'll be having upcoming tutorial on the sample questions from this chapter, and then now we will be winding up with this series. So we'll be having other series coming up, so stay tuned for more details and more videos on different technologies or different testing tools from me. And thanks for watching, team. As of now, take care. Happy learning. This is all for now. We have more videos coming up on the upcoming tutorials and also on the upcoming chapters of this tutorial. So stay tuned for more videos. Do hit the bell icon for getting notified about the latest videos. And in case you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe as early as possible, because we'll be having more videos about technologies and testing coming up right after this. So stay tuned, and till then, enjoy learning. Happy learning. Take care.